Okay, having read the essence of my blessing from The Sun in Your Heart is Rising, this manuscript that I'm compiling, I used to be in the habit of promising that a book would appear someday. Nowadays, I'm a little more reticent about the promises. Who knows? Maybe I won't do another, even one of these readings and commentaries for you. I'm intending to, but at least I will have done this one. And at least it will be posted and available to you and others. And I realize what I have to say is not for everyone, and even those who have a heartfelt response or just a curiosity, something, you might wonder, what is this guy talking about? And yet, I don't know, there's something to this. Even for you, I'm not asking you to believe me. From the beginning of my work as an awakener, an activator somehow of this sunrise in others, it's as if I'm helping it happen somehow. I've always said that belief is not the point. In fact, belief, which is so important in some religious and spiritual contexts, is actually counterproductive in the investigation, the exploration that would make what I'm communicating here potentially most helpful to you and useful for you. So I'm very comfortable with your not believing a word of this, and I want to invite you from the outset not only to permit yourself to doubt, question, wonder about this, be skeptical about it. I don't recommend flat out cynicism, but if that's where you need to go, so be it. Here's to your cynicism. Just stay with it if you're so moved, and allow it to jostle up against what you think and believe is likely to be true. Or in any case, what you wonder, what you're not sure of. Your doubt and your skepticism are allies. Smelly allies, I've always said. Perhaps they may be quite fragrant to you now. At some point it may become apparent that they're losing their usefulness. But why? Well, it's because what we're talking about here is not something that it's merely going to be helpful for you to think about, though the thinking process is very important. Has to take place. Obviously, we're communicating words. Thinking is what's going on. But what I'm communicating, what I'm transmitting, is a word that somewhat accurate. We're both simultaneously transmitting to one another and to all beings and things. That's part of the interconnectedness, inter-identifiedness that I'm proposing here. This essential mystery is not fundamentally about words. It's fundamentally about something that I'm proposing is true of your, I got this word from a Buddhist translator of great Buddhist texts, Herbert Gunther. One of the texts, he translated a word as ownmost, O-W-N-M-O-S-T, your ownmost nature, your ownmost self, your ownmost identity is this great capital B beingness, this existingness, this, if you want to use a little bit more religious language as I did here, godness. Not asking you to believe in God, goddess, anything quote-unquote divine. I'm just simply asking you to take these things into consideration and allow it to percolate in and from your heart of hearts, in and from your ownmost being. See what you find out. So it seems to me we're all awakening, as I said here, to this very core of our nature. And I'm not going to cite the leading edge science and philosophy. It's out there. That's not my intent in this session anyway. Maybe in other sessions I'll mention some things here and there. But I'm pointing to, again, not only proclamations about this marvelous reality, but what it takes for you to actually come to live it yourself, if it is so that this sun-like nature in your heart is rising. If there is indeed a light of lights in your being, a spark, whether you call it a spark of God or a spark of the essential beingness of what is, of all that is, however we might conceive it, something is coming alive and awake, I'm suggesting, in and as and through you, as well as me. And my job, if you want to call it that, mostly is just to be here and proclaim that. Say it. Radiate it to you in whatever ways I can. And then for you and me both to see what happens. One thing I want to add here, I don't want to go on too long with the commentary, is that this beingness that belongs to all of us, this marvelous reality that belongs to us all, that is our inter-identifiedness, the unity that, as I also say in other of these essays, is really an onlyness of our being. That doesn't invalidate our individuality at all. In fact, if anything, coming in touch with that shared onlyness, as I call it, of what is, that includes everyone and everything, the moon and the stars, the planets, the universes. Tapping into that, becoming more and more confident that that is so, that you are always not just connected with that, but you are it. You are being it. As am I, mysteriously, as I'll say early on in some of these other essays. We're both together here, indistinguishable, and utterly alone, unique, and distinct. And our individuality only gets augmented and magnified by tapping into this great power of universal and transcendental being that is our heart truth. And finally, what I want to say today, this is all about the heart. But again, heart with a capital H. It's not just love, as if love is a small thing. Love, there's no justness or mereness to love. But it's not only felt and known and lived as love. It's also felt and known as and lived when it becomes most obviously true to you as your own very consciousness, your own very being, your own intrinsic nature, your own most essential awareness. It's got many, many remarkable qualities, none of which define it, but it is felt to be the centerless center of everything and everyone that is also the very center, the own most center and essence of your own being, and felt especially here at the heart. And if I were to reduce my blessing and my communication, what I'm here to bring more fully into the world, it's just this kind of feeling and knowing and being of the heart. The great heart that has always been our truth, that very few of us have actually deeply come to know and live and be in its fullness yet. So that's the direction I'm wanting to take all this, and we'll see where we go from here. Thank you.